Hey viewers, welcome back to Crime Doc. Today we're diving into a chilling case. On December 18th, 2013, Brianna Warland received a distressing call from her best friend, Heather, who was in tears. Heather had spoken with Sydney, her ex-lover, who expressed regret over their breakup and urged her to reconcile. Brianna advised Heather against it, reminding her of the emotional turmoil she had recently overcome. High County, South Carolina, known for its scenic beauty, became the backdrop of a mystery on December 19th. Local police found Heather's abandoned car near Peachtree Landing, a secluded area by the Wacow River. Heather Elvis, Heather's father, was shocked when notified about the car, suspecting theft. However, his concern escalated when Heather couldn't be reached. Missing her work shift, Terry alerted the police, fearing foul play. During the initial investigation, the car and the riverbank weren't treated as a crime scene due to the absence of obvious signs, like struggle, broken glass, or blood. However, authorities initiated a missing person probe. Police and volunteers scoured the area while divers searched the riverbed. Although human remains were discovered in the forest, they belonged to an unidentified man, not Heather. Investigators delved into Heather's background for leads. Aged 20, she was the daughter of Terry and Debbie Elvis residing in the county. Heather shared a close bond with her family, especially her father, whom she spoke to daily. In 2011, after graduating from St. James High School, Heather opted to live with her best friend, Brianna Warland, a decision fully supported by her parents. Employed as a waitress at the Tilted Kilt in Myrtle Beach, Heather harbored dreams of becoming a cosmetologist. Described as creative and ambitious, she had a passion for makeup and being in front of the camera. Known for her kindness and upbeat personality, Heather was a beloved figure in her community. Friends reminisced about her infectious positivity and zest for life, painting her as sociable, adventurous, and always eager to seize the moment. In 2013, Heather had been enjoying life in Myrtle Beach, living with her best friend Brianna for about a year. Excelling in her studies and content with her routine, Heather's world took a dark turn after a fateful encounter at the Tilted Kilt. During a bustling afternoon shift in June, she crossed paths with Tammy Mower, a 37-year-old handyman with 3 children. Sydney, who ran a small kitchen appliance repair business, had a professional connection to the restaurant. Their casual conversation sparked an unexpected attraction, leading to frequent interactions. Heather's Twitter hinted at her growing fondness for older men, and by July she openly expressed affection for Sydney, especially as he helped renovate the restaurant. Their relationship progressed, with co-workers gossiping about their affair despite disapproval due to Sydney's marital status. In a misguided prank, colleagues pretended to be Sydney's wife, Tammy, adding to the strain on Heather's situation. In August, the swirling rumors about Sydney and Heather's relationship were confirmed as Sydney became a constant presence at the restaurant, showering Heather with attention and discussing future plans with friends. Their affair became increasingly public, with Sydney even mentioning hiring Heather as a nanny once he relocated with his wife to Florida. Despite their friends' warnings, Heather remained entangled in the toxic relationship, fueled by Sydney's empty promises of leaving his wife. By mid-September, Heather seemed to realize the harmful dynamic she was in, reflected in a cryptic tweet about doomed love. The turning point came when Tammy, Sydney's wife, discovered the affair and confronted Heather, subjecting her to verbal abuse. Witnessed by Brianna, Heather endured the humiliation, with Tammy and Sydney both asserting Heather's insignificance to them, shattering her emotionally and undermining her sense of self-worth. Prosecutor Chris Helms later uncovered that Tammy held a controlling grip over Sydney, directing his every move and punishing him severely for his infidelity. Enraged by the betrayal, Tammy set out to destroy Heather's life, subjecting Sydney to extreme measures like handcuffing him at night and forcing him to undergo degrading acts, including getting her name tattooed on his stomach. Tammy's vendetta extended beyond Sydney, targeting Heather with relentless harassment. She bombarded Heather's workplace with calls, demanded her termination, and continued to torment her with messages and explicit content, causing Heather significant distress. Despite Heather's pleas for Sydney to intervene, the harassment persisted. Faced with escalating threats from Tammy, Heather sought solace in church and attempted to rebuild her life. However, Tammy's relentless pursuit intensified, with menacing messages indicating surveillance and an intent to inflict harm. Exhausted and emotionally drained, Heather struggled to comprehend Tammy's relentless pursuit, especially considering her desire to move on from the tumultuous relationship with Sydney. Heather confided in her friend about Tammy's unsettling obsession with her, expressing relief when the Moer family embarked on a trip to California, granting her a brief respite from Tammy's threats. Amidst this reprieve, Heather received exciting news. She landed her dream job as a makeup artist at a beauty salon, igniting joy among her loved ones. However, newfound fears surfaced as Heather noticed a sudden weight gain, sparking concerns of a possible pregnancy from her affair with Sidney. Anxious and distressed, she took a pregnancy test at work, fearing Tammy's potential retaliation. Despite the faulty result, Heather remained apprehensive about the situation. Her best friend affirmed that Heather had been intimate only with Sidney around the time of the test, further complicating her dilemma. Despite her worries, Heather remained optimistic in the winter of 2013, determined to move forward and embrace new beginnings. She agreed to a first date with Steve Gerald, hoping for a happier and healthier relationship. On December 17th, Heather and Steve enjoyed an evening admiring Christmas lights in Myrtle Beach before stopping in a parking lot, where Steve taught Heather to drive his manual car. Excited about her newfound skill, Heather shared a photo with her father before Steve dropped her off around 1:15 a.m. With few leads to follow, detectives compiled a timeline of events leading up to Heather's disappearance. Initially suspected, Steve Gerald was cleared of involvement after questioning, while Heather's loved ones sought public assistance in finding her. Tammy Mower's social media activity, filled with insults directed at Heather, sparked outrage and drew investigators' attention, redirecting the focus of the investigation. On December 20th, detectives questioned Sidney after receiving information from Brianna and her colleagues about the affair between Sidney and Heather. Sidney, however, remained evasive during the interrogation, denying any involvement and claiming to be on a trip with his wife, Tammy, on the night of December 17th. Detectives, suspicious of his demeanor, focused on gathering evidence to corroborate their suspicion. Investigating Heather's call history, detectives discovered a crucial clue: a brief call from an unknown number to Heather on December 18th, followed by numerous attempted callbacks. Tracing the call's origin to a payphone near a gas station in Myrtle Beach, surveillance footage confirmed an unidentified male at the phone booth during the call. Confronted with this evidence, Sidney initially denied making the call but later confessed, stating he urged Heather to cease contact with him. During questioning, Tammy Mower denied any involvement in Heather's disappearance, attributing the strained situation to Heather's alleged inappropriate lifestyle. Detectives, however, remained suspicious and intensified their investigation, scoring security camera footage in the vicinity. Their efforts bore fruit as they uncovered damning evidence. Sidney purchasing a pregnancy test shortly before Heather's disappearance, claiming it was for his wife. Subsequent footage from cameras along a secluded road leading to Peachtree Landing showed a vehicle resembling Sidney's Ford F-150 arriving at the location where Heather's car was discovered, corroborating his presence at the scene. Further analysis of Heather's phone records provided a timeline of her movements on the night of her disappearance. After attempting to contact Sidney, Heather visited Longbeard's Bar and Grill before returning to her apartment briefly. Subsequent calls between Heather and Sidney indicated their communication continued until Heather's arrival at Peachtree Landing, where her attempts to reach Sidney went unanswered. The last call made from Heather's phone occurred minutes before disconnection, marking a pivotal moment in the investigation implicating Sidney as the last person to see Heather alive. The discovery of Sidney's vehicle on security footage provided crucial evidence, but a search of the Moores' home yielded even more incriminating findings. Suspiciously, they replaced their home surveillance system shortly after Heather's disappearance, prompting investigators to seize recordings from the new system. Footage revealed Sidney and Tammy meticulously cleaning the interior of their car and burning the cleaning rags, raising suspicions of tampering with evidence. In 2014, a significant breakthrough occurred when Sidney and Tammy Mower were arrested on charges of kidnapping Heather, later also charged with murder, despite her body never being found. However, their refusal to testify hindered the case, leading to the dropping of murder charges due to lack of evidence. Despite disappointment, Heather's family hoped the trial would encourage witnesses to come forward. In 2017, Sidney was convicted of obstructing justice and sentenced to 10 years in prison, with both he and Tammy to stand trial for Heather's kidnapping. The high-profile case attracted widespread attention, with numerous court hearings held in 2019, presenting compelling evidence of the couple's involvement in Heather's disappearance, marking a significant step toward justice. After just 2 hours of deliberation, justice was served as Sidney and Tammy Mower were found guilty of kidnapping Heather Elvis. The court sentenced both to 30 years in prison for their crimes and associated conspiracy, to be served concurrently. Despite the conviction, Sidney maintained his innocence, expressing regret for the tragedy that unfolded and acknowledging Heather's parents' pain. Heather's parents, in an emotional interview after the trial, shared their hope for closure and the belief that the truth would eventually emerge. They remembered Heather as a vibrant and sincere young woman whose disappearance has left an indelible mark on the community. Despite efforts to find her, Heather's body has never been recovered, leaving her loved ones with unanswered questions and enduring grief. Heather's disappearance has prompted soul-searching in the community, serving as a reminder of the complexities of love, betrayal, and the far-reaching consequences of actions. While justice was rendered in the courtroom, the emotional wounds remain. Yet, Heather's memory lives on as a symbol of resilience and hope, encouraging us to cherish our loved ones and appreciate the precious gift of life. And with that, we conclude today's video. If you found it intriguing, remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more true crime stories. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe.